That up on YouTube. And
Oh, it's
find it.
insane. And you'll just think it's the dumbest thing in the world.
I love it. And I love laughing. Like, I could laugh.
Yeah.
I never stop laughing.
The heart of a good woman, make her laugh.
You know what? That is so true.
I know it is. That's how I usually get into the pain. Yeah, make them laugh.
Yeah. What chemical gets released during laughter? Do we know?
I don't know.
Serotonin, dopamine, endorphins.
The good stuff.
Oh, yeah. Just like they say, if you smile like longer than 30 seconds, like your brain automatically starts like releasing this happy. I think that's where they get the scenario act as if. Interesting.
You need to smile more.
Or we could just be laughing all day long. Awesome. Hello, welcome to Sacred Soul Talk Podcast, where our prayer and intention for today is to lead lost souls back into the light, to open up doors of possibilities that no matter where you're at right now in life, no matter where you're at, whether you're the black sheep, you're still in your addiction, if you're heavy in depression, if you're homeless on the street, if you're suicidal, there is a way out. Today I have a very special guest who is a pain coach. Now we were just talking about this earlier. The gift, the power of being able to take your pain and mind you, I just recently had a vision board workshop and I was doing push-ups with this other guy and I out push-upped him. And I had used Ray's technique, which he'll go into it. Mm-hmm. But I met Ray at a billionaire mastermind in Miami. And there's no coincidences in life. God will always bring into your life people and places and events and circumstances that are in line with your vibrational frequency, that are in alignment with the same missions and the same goals. And he taught us this very powerful tool, how to take a traumatic, painful moment and use it for fuel. And now me being a crazy addict, like I'm an addict. Ugh. And addiction comes from avoiding pain, choosing pleasure. So when I heard what he said, as an addict, I just took it and ran with it as a superpower. And I have a lot of little superpowers, but I thought, what better superpower than all the moments I drank over, that I used over, that I used to run from reality, run from pain, like taking that and fueling it. And he gave you an example with us doing push-ups. And to this day now, I don't ever go back to traumatic moments. And I literally went back to the most traumatic moment of my life. And that shit, like I pushed out like another 10 push-ups at my vision board party when me and this guy were having this little push-up, like outdoing each other. And he gave up and I stopped and everybody thought I was going to give up. And it took me like a good 30 seconds and I had to kind of like go back to this moment in time. And it was actually when I caught my husband with another girl right when I was 6 months pregnant. And he chose her over me in that moment. And I remember like I've never to this day had another rage in my life. So I literally went there and was like, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I was like, ah. And everybody was like, what the hell? Like it was just like the adrenaline, the cortisol was at a whole different level. And that was the first time when you introduced us to that I literally was like, holy fuck, there's so much power within me. If somebody had only taught me the tools of how to move energy, how to use it to empower me. Okay, so today's guest, we have a very amazing, powerful former Navy SEAL and CIA operative. That part, I have so many cool questions because I think I should be a CIA agent. I'm really good at finding things out. Ray Kashkar is one of the most powerful, disciplined, masculine, like a beast. Like I think of a fucking boss. I think of a beast. I think of a man when I think of Ray Kashkar.
Thank you.
And a man who is disciplined, a man who has a heart of gold, a man who's charismatic, a man who's here to serve. Like that's what I think of when I think of Ray Cash Care.
Thank you.
A man who's so of service. Thank you for being present. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. He's in LA for like 2.5 seconds. And yeah, he showed up today.
Yeah.
Thank you for being present. Thank you for taking a stand for transformation. This podcast will forever be on YouTube.
Well, I'm pumped. I'm thank you for having me. You know, I'm an acquired taste. So, you know, there's very few that understand the intricacies that go on up here, and the very few that get it. You know, we grow together, and the mass that don't, well, they get left behind. I try to save as many as I can, but we've had this conversation. You can only save those who want to be saved, right? So, I mean,
yeah, 100%.
And you said it right there. You know, a lot of people run from pain. They avoid pain. And listen, and here's what, you know, you said a word, addict. We're all addicts in some fashion. We're all addicted to some things, right? Good and bad. We're all addicted to things. The key is to overcome the bad addiction, focusing on something positive, right? I'm addicted to being successful. I'm addicted to making an impact. I'm addicted to money. That doesn't make me shallow, right? The more you make, the more you can give. You know, it feels good. I mean, you know, we heard Wes talk. You know, it's great to make money and be able to do great things with it instead of, you know, flushing it down the toilet, if you will, with drinking or drugs or, you know, in my case, Oxycontin or whatever it may be. So yeah, and I love it, and I think it all stems from, you know, we had this conversation before we started. I'm not a motivational coach. I don't like that word. Motivation gets you moving. Discipline's what gets it done. But pain, if you can harness in, you know, I do a drill. We did that drill. You close your eyes and you go back to that spot. You can see it. You can feel it. You can taste it. You can smell it. And what got you out of there, right? You know, when you realized, when you made the transformation and you said, no more, I am going to beat this addiction, right? That's where the real work started. But what people need to understand is it's work that you're going to have to do every fucking day for the rest of your life. You can't, like, I haven't had a drink in 2 years. I'm going to have, no. If you know what that demon, right? Because this is what I talk about. You cannot kill a demon. Addiction is a demon. You have to learn how to name, claim, and tame it. Accept it. You were addicted to alcohol. I was addicted to Oxycontin. How do we avoid that? We don't do it anymore. I don't dance around it. I don't even take it. You're talking to a guy that doesn't even take Motrin anymore. I won't put myself into that state of vulnerability, even though I believe that being vulnerable is a true sign of strength. There's different levels of vulnerability. I won't allow myself. I won't do that. I believe in myself too much. I love myself too much. I always tell people, if you're not dead, you're ahead. People go, what? I'm like, if you're not dead, you're ahead. You're ahead of the people.
If you're not dead, you're ahead.
That's right. So you have so much room to grow. And that's what I consider myself a pain coach and a growth coach. That's it. We can talk about the whole Navy SEAL and all that stuff, but being a Navy SEAL didn't make me who I am. The hardships of youth is who made me who I am. I just use things like the Navy SEALs and the CIA to sharpen it, right? To hone it in. Just like we constantly do, right? I'm a double-edged sword, a savage and a servant. I'm a savage if I need to be, and a servant if I need to be. But I'm sharpening those blades every day, refining them, making them as sharp and as crisp as I can. That's what I do.
I use that term a lot, double-edged sword. And I explain it's sword. And I'm sober. It's the double-edged sword. And I say, like, I'm like a ninja. Like, what do I say? Like I'm a ninja, you know, like, and there's different tools that I create through pain, through, and I found all of my tools that I carry, like in my backpack, are all forged from pain, from traumatic situations that I had to learn. Well, okay, here's the downside of it. Well, what's the positive side? What's the opposite of depression? Well, it's happiness. So I'm able to, you know, well, what's going to get me to depression? What's going to take? So and everything, I use that word a lot, double-edged sword. It's like one of my, It's like one of my little superpower tools that I have.
It's a good
Yeah.
superpower tool to have.
Yeah.
You know, being able to, you got to be able to know when to use which blade, which edge for which scenario. That's the key. You know, like I talk about a savage, right? Savage is as a man, I'm going to protect my family, but I'm not protecting my family because I'm a savage. I'm protecting them because my job is to serve them. So
Mm,
people get that confused. I use the savagery is what I have to use on myself to not
right.
go back down those dark avenues. My job now is to be the best servant I can to myself first and then others. You know, we talked about it when I spoke. Everybody, I ask everybody, what's your why? What's your why? It's so funny. This is one of the few podcasts I'm not yelling at because I'm known for being the yeller. Um, but I always ask you, like, if I ask you, what do you want to be? Well, I want to be a better human being. I want to be, I ask women, better mother, wife, daughter, lover, whatever it is. And then I'll ask them, then what is your why? It's my husband and my kids. And I'm like, you couldn't be farther from the truth. Your why has to be you, right? I am selfless with 99% of things in this life, but my why, I am selfish as fuck with because I owe that to myself and the people that I love in my life. I have to be the best version of
Mm-hmm.
me. My why has to be me.
Yeah.
If it's not you, then you're living for other things. And I know people go, that doesn't make sense because my family is yes, I will do anything for my daughter, my son, and my wife, but I have to be running on all cylinders. I have to be the best version of me I can be to serve them, right?
Yes.
When I'm taking Oxycontin or if I'm drinking or I'm doing drugs or I'm out doing shit that I shouldn't be doing, I'm not serving them correctly because I'm not serving myself correctly. So that's where you have to be able to compartmentalize
Mm-hmm.
things. I believe that humans live in three battlefields of life: the inner battlefield, the business field, and the home field. I don't believe that there's a perfect balance, right? Case in point,
Oh yeah. There's never going to be
everybody's like,
perfect
oh, you have to have
balance.
balance. No, you don't. You have to be able to bounce back. Like if my daughter or wife gets sick, God forbid, the business gets put on hold. I get put on hold. I'm focusing on them. But you have to be able to, you know, reassess and get back on track, right? Shit, I've been away and I get back to it. And people, everybody's so into finding this balance. My balance and your balance, they're never going to be the same.
It doesn't make when people say that I just feel like I feel like there's certain people there's a group of us who understand there's no way you're going to ever have balance and that shouldn't be the goal. And I want to say like a big takeaway that I'm hearing right now is people truly understanding, like coming from the mindset of like everyone wants to just give versus no, I come first.
Yes.
I come first, motherfuckers. Like I come first. My happiness comes first. My mental welfare comes first. My physical welfare comes first. Until that's in place, I cannot be a good mom.
I can't give them what they need. I
Mm-hmm.
can't give them all of me. I can't
Correct.
give you all of me until I give all to myself. Does that make sense?
Exactly. Yeah.
And
It makes sense to me. And
most don't get
no,
it.
people are always like, oh, well, you're so selfish. You should be selfish. I have to be selfish because I'm healthy selfish versus toxic selfish,
Yes.
I'm checked the fuck out. I ain't even present.
Yeah.
So I need to be healthy selfish so that I can be present, so that I can work, so that I can, be here of service, so that I can show up on the podcast, so that I can transform lives, so I can make it to my calls with my, my clients, and make it to calls with my mentor. Like all these things, I could not show up for them if I was not selfish. And and I hear that a lot when I hear people talking like just normal people that aren't in any kind of self-development or any kind of coaching programs. The conversation they have is so different where they just really feel like, okay, well, I'm just going to give my life. I'm just going to give everything away and just drain myself of everything.
Yeah. I agree with you 1,000%. There's 6 forms of growth, 7 forms of pain. Growth: physical, mental, emotional, social, spiritual, and financial. That's your growth. Pain, same: physical, mental, emotional, social, spiritual, financial, and sexual. The reason why I'm a growth coach is because I've been a pain coach. So what does that mean? It means I have street cred on every one of those fucking categories. That's what it means, right? Like case in point,
Right.
I tell the story. Trish and I, a few years back, which is my wife. You know, my wife. We went through some counseling because I'm an
And
idiot.
your wife, I think she's absolutely beautiful, and her
She's
aura,
yeah,
her heart, and God, I have a gift where God shows me like
yeah.
the inside of people. And every time I run across her and you post her, I just felt such God's grace and God's presence, like in her eyes and in
Yeah.
her smile. And I've never even met her, but
She's insane.
lucky.
I love her. New York girl. You know, she's a beast. But
We love New
we
Yorkers.
we went to a marriage counselor because I was being an idiot, which is another topic, for another conversation. But we go in there and I'm very attentive. I'm looking around and I'm seeing things, and it's the lack of seeing things. So I notice there's no wedding ring or no tattoo on the finger. I notice he's young, and I see no pictures of kids or a wife. So sitting down, and I'm like, I'm already pissed off about doing this. So I'm like, I got a question for you, buddy. And he's like, shoot. I'm like,
No.
how long you been married? Never been married. How long you been engaged? Not engaged. You in a relationship? No, I haven't been in a relationship 4 years. How many kids you got? Well, I don't have any kids. I look at Trish and go, what the fuck are we doing? Right? Like, and that's what I love about what I'm saying is you got to have street creds. Like, if I want to learn how to do something, I'm going to surround myself with people. I believe life runs off of two things, rhythm and frequency.
Right.
I'm looking for people that are running at the rhythm that I want to be at, that are a higher frequency that I want to get to. Right? So, I've used Wes, I use people that are better than me.
Yes.
Now, but I also think that each human being has a 5% zone of genius. There's things that I do that no one else can do the way I do. There's things that you do that no one else can do the way you do. What the goal is to figure out, isolate what your 5% zone of genius is, what you're a subject matter expert in, a SME. What do you do better than anybody else fucking in the world, right? In the world. And then you surround yourself. That's your piece. Then you surround yourself with people that are going to do the other 95%.
Oh my God! There's a word for it. 5% zone genius.
Zone of genius. Yeah, your 5% zone of genius.
Okay, because I've talked about this, but I've never had like a terminology.
Yeah. So
Okay,
I
this is
coach
perfect.
on my 5% zone of genius, right?
Yeah.
Mindset and accountability. That's it. Everything else I suck at. Now I can do I can do fitness, but
I suck at numbers.
My fitness style is a little bit more savage than most people.
Right.
I focus. My fitness is what I'm selfish with. That's the biggest thing I'm selfish with because, I told you about the new shirt. I identify as fit. I believe that the key to life is being fit.
It is.
It is one of the
How?
anchors, right? It's one of the foundations. I believe in my 4 F-bombs: family, fitness, finances, and
Key.
faith. I have it tattooed right there. But listen, let's look at it like this. Like when I first met my wife, right? When you meet somebody,
Okay.
you're not attracted to you can say it all you want, and I'll call the bullshit flag. You're attracted
Physically.
to the physical,
Of
but
course.
what you're really attracted to is the discipline. When a woman takes care of herself, right? When I met my wife, her hair was perfect, her nails were done, she was fit. I am attracted to discipline because that is the people I want to surround myself with, right? Now, I'm not saying that,
okay.
and I'm not saying
Okay.
that people that are overweight are not, I'm not attracted to. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying as a whole, like when I knew that.
But I'll put this out so I can say this. But there is a frequency. When I see an overweight person, it tells me you do not love yourself.
I
You do
agree.
not invest in yourself. And it's a low frequency that I'm already thinking, like, you don't even love yourself enough to go to the gym. How can you?
Oh, so we're going to be real here. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do tell people, perfect example. I am not going to go to the gym and have a fitness instructor that doesn't look at, I want to look like you. I want to have your money. I want to have this. That's who I
Yeah.
surround myself with. But fitness is key. Like there is nothing more attractive than for me than a woman who takes care of herself.
Yeah.
Now, I want to make this very clear. Being attractive, and you're an attractive woman, but I'm attracted to my wife in a different manner, right? But you still have the same qualities. You both take care of yourself, right? And I know how old you're going to be. I ain't going to say that. But, we're not spring chickens.
38.
Okay, she said it. I wasn't going to. And 52.
Yeah.
And what really just kills me is like when I go back to my hometown and guys are like, "What's your secret, man? Well, how do you stay in shape?" Motherfucker, I never got out.
Go to the gym.
I just I make time. Like tonight, I'm not going to
Yeah.
get to the gym. My buddy owns the gym. What time's the gym open to? 24 hours. I'm like,
Oh,
looks like it's going to be a
excellent.
late night workout
Yeah.
tonight. But I'm not going to skip a day because I'm skipping out on myself. I won't do that. When people are like, I can start tomorrow. There may not be a tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
I tell people all the time, get up, live your life to the fucking fullest. Average human being sleeps 6 to 8 hours, give or take. Gives you 16 to 18 hours, give or take, to do two things: kick ass or get your ass kicked. Now, most people aren't going to understand that. And the people that do get it are going to be misunderstood. We always are. And we're, oh, look at this guy. Well, fine. Okay, fine. I got no problem with that. But I honestly feel that the more fit you are, the bigger advantage it gives you it'll bleed off into other avenues, right? The more fit you are, the better decision-making skills you have, right? I mean, just so you know, being fit, looking the part does open a lot of doors. Now, it only opens the door. You've got to
really
walk in
does.
and do the work after that, right?
Correct.
I'm not saying be fit's going to everybody's going to give you things for free, but I believe the same thing with mentality.
What's the terminology? Like, I heard this the other day. Like pretty girl syndrome or good looking people syndrome. God, there's a terminology, and I heard the terminology and I said, "Oh, I didn't know the terminology," because there is what's the word? There is like a prejudice, but positive. When you're good looking, you do get things handed to you versus somebody who isn't. So so let's just say there's a good looking person applying for a job and a not good looking. They both have the same skills. Maybe they're both charismatic. Just the good looking person is going to be chosen. And so I always say just me, I've been pretty since I was in kindergarten. Like I didn't have the like ugly little girl thing. Like I was pretty from kindergarten. So growing up there was always favor. There we go. Favor. I was always favored just because of look. So I always experienced going places or anything. Like I'm just pretty. Like people give pretty girls things, good looking boys or good looking girls. So I can see how just even somebody with the fucking six pack, somebody with shoulders and their arms, like just the people, there is an energetic frequency about these people that just show like self.
But there's also been a pendulum switch. There's been this pivot where being a late 40s, early 50s attractive man and woman is almost a bad thing now. So case in point, I've seen this before. My wife can wear a nice little sundress with a pair of heels, right? And a heavy set female will roll her eyes at her. But yet this heavy set female is wearing the same damn thing and it's okay. It's almost like you're showboating. Like my wife sometimes is almost, I don't want to wear that because I'm going to look too, you're going to look too what?
Sexy.
Like
she's going to stand out.
I'm worried what people are going to think. People are going to think what, you work out? Because here's a little news flash. People that are in shape, 99% of us work our asses off for,
eating clean,
not drinking,
sacrificing, not eating sugars, not having high fats.
Sometimes looking good sucks, man. But it does.
I really want strawberry cheesecake ice cream.
And there's moderation, and you can everything's in moderation, right? But the people that are just like my favorite's the people that are 40 pounds over the weight and they're bitching and moaning, saying why me? And I look at them when I coach them, and go, why not you? What are you doing, or what have you done?
Right.
Crickets. Now, there are other individuals who may have thyroid issues, or they have metabolism issues, or they have, diabetics. Get it. But my thing is the art of doing something will always outweigh the art of doing jack shit.
Nothing.
So do something, right? I mean, do something. That's all I tell people. Just the movement. You heard me say it one more, right? Like, when you did your push-ups, I remember we did it. I was like, you got one more. And you did another one. You got another one. And you got another one. And you got another one. And I do this drill all the time with my camps. I'll tell people, stand up and stretch. Put your arms above your head as high as you can. And they'll do that. And then I'll throw it on a $100 bill and go, can you go higher? Every single person can go higher.
Always.
So many people go through life running between 60 and 70% of their full potential.
Yep.
That's the problem. You know, they're
That-
happy with that $60,000 to $70,000 salary, and that's fine if you are. I'm not content with that.
Yeah.
I'm not content. I am. People always ask me what I'm allergic to. I'm allergic to being average.
Bullshit.
I am. I'm allergic to it. I mean, I'm the most average fucking guy you're gonna meet. I'm 5'7".
You are far from average.
5'7" with a size 10
Nothing about
shoe.
you says average.
I couldn't go up, so I decided to go out. This is a canvas. This is canvas.
Yeah.
Your body is a canvas. You can do what you want with it. I've abused my body long enough. You did too. That's why we relate so well. But now it's like every day that you get up, it's a fresh start to paint. Now and here's what I tell people. I didn't like who I was for most of my life. I'm starting to like who I am, but I love where I'm going, right? Case in point, my wife is very religious. I know I am, and I'm going to let me finish. I have had a hard time with upbringings and the abuse that I've been through and the things I've seen in war. So I have really started trying to pour into the church. And Pastor Hank and Trevellis, I love you guys. They asked me one time in front of people, "Are you a believer?" And I paused, and my wife's looking at me like leaning in, and I said, "No, but I'm believing." So some things take me a little bit longer to comprehend. I'm not saying that I don't. I'm just saying that it's going slower for me. Like my wife had a very similar traumatic past, and she's opened up and poured into it. That's not how I work. The only thing I open up and pour into right now is myself and my family. Now, I recently went on Sean Whalen's podcast, and he says, "What is your idea of being a man of faith?" And I honestly think, or a woman of faith, the only way that I can be a true man of faith is if I believe in myself wholeheartedly. And I still have some doubts with certain things in my life, just because, as I told you before, if you've been abused or you've abused things in your life, you have demons. So many people think that you can kill a demon. You can't. You have to learn how to navigate and negotiate with it. So I'm not going to go down that road again, but I will avoid certain people, places, and things that will put me in that situation. I don't want to go there again, right? So I fill that void with other things, helping people, working out. I mean, I'll go to the gym sometimes, D, and I mean, I'm a man on a fucking mission. I'm angry in the gym. I don't go to the gym to talk to people. I don't go there to socialize. I'll see someone like you there, I'm like, yeah, it's just a girl working out. I am there because that is me time.
Right.
Like, leave me alone.
It's like your meditation.
Yes.
It's like it's
reflection.
To me, it's like my God.
Yeah.
It's my place of sanity.
My steel church is what I call it.
Because
I gotta be careful with that, but yeah.
I believe in God and I'm a woman of God, but I'm not a religious person and I don't go to church. So I find, like you said, anytime I'm pouring into me, like the gym, I'm able to quiet my mind, quiet my thoughts. And then that moment is when I'm literally getting downloads from God.
Yeah.
As my dopamine raises, as my frequency starts to shift, as every cell membrane and nucleus proton starts vibrating, healing itself. Because every time I work out, I'm healing the parts of me which were low vibrational, which were unhealthy. And it's like every day the God frequency starts to flow through me during the workout.
Yes.
And there is where the God enlightenment comes.
Yeah.
So to me, it's my religion.
And
it's my church.
Yeah. And the one thing that I've definitely changed is I went from being a part-time prayer to a full-time prayer, meaning me, my wife, and my daughter, no matter where I am, who I'm with, we pray every night. I was a fraud because I would just pray to the big man upstairs when something bad happened. Even though he's always going to listen.
Oh, we forgot. I always started with prayer too, but we were on a good topic.
But there's things that, like I said, I call myself, and I always will, work in progress. That's if I have to define myself as a whole, I'm work in progress, right? I don't believe in perfection. I believe in progression. I'm constantly progressing up that ladder. And sometimes I fall down, but I get back up, and And I tell everybody, the biggest thing that you can do is I have the shirt, bet on yourself, right? I see it in America. We spend hundreds of billions of dollars betting on lotteries, gambling. We're looking for that adrenaline rush. If you want the biggest adrenaline rush on the planet, do something for yourself and do it, like just accomplish something. That is the biggest fucking high you can have, right?
Mm-hmm.
You talked about it, the $50,000 a month, the $100,000 a month.
Yeah.
How good did it feel? And it's not what you can do with the money. It's you obtained this goal and objective.
A goal.
Because what most people do, just so you know, is like, everybody, if you ask people what they want to be in the world, the majority of people are going to say a millionaire. Number one, $1 million is not a millionaire, because when I hit $1 million, I went to some of my mentors and they're like, that's not a millionaire. I'm like, shit, what is it? They're like 2 or 3. So I'm still going at it. But
Yeah.
my point to this is you've got to constantly have and set goals. So let's say you hit $1 million, right? Because everybody wants to be a millionaire. You tell them that the next year they hit $800,000 and they go, well, I hit my goal. No, if you hit your goal, you have to make new goals, right? Like with fitness. I know you're down, you're down your weight.
Yeah,
When
we're down 23 pounds.
23, I remember was 20, but once you
Got
get
those 3 pounds.
that's huge. I mean, you earn it. I apologize. But when you get to where you want to be, that's when the work starts. That's when the real work starts. Like when I became a SEAL, when you put the trident on, you think all the things that you do to get there were hard. No. Maintaining and excelling at that level, right? So how much more weight do you want to lose? Tell me.
17 more pounds.
17 more pounds. So 23 and 17, is that 40 pounds total? Yeah.
I was 200. Goal is, 160.
I'm good at math. So
I'm not.
once you hit
I don't have that
40
many
pounds,
fingers.
once you hit that 40 pounds, that's where the
Yeah.
work starts, right? Because what do most people do? They'll lose 40 pounds. They'll reward themselves. They'll go out and eat and put on fucking 5 more pounds. No.
Okay.
You keep that weight, you moderate, and you have to, that's where you start the experimenting, right? If you want a piece of cheesecake, where are you at, right?
Yeah.
Salt and take. There's so many things we can get into, but it's not just about the weight, it's about life, right? The symbolism is life. When you hit that goal, you buy that house, when you get that car, when you meet that man, how many people, here you go, here, let's use this. People you see in relationships, they look like this when they meet 2 or 3 years later, they're 30 pounds heavier. Fuck that, man. Look. I mean, I want to look good, man. Like I'm reverse engineering that stuff.
Yeah.
I love when people go, "You're how old?" Minus the gray beard. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be 53.
Yeah.
Love it.
I love it too.
Love it. And I'm not going to stop. But it all starts with betting on yourself, believing in yourself. I believe in believing in a higher power. And again, I don't know who's all listening, but but I honestly believe that it starts with believing yourself. It's hard for me to believe in something else if I don't believe in me, right? Versus majority of the people need to believe in a higher power before they can believe in themselves. That doesn't work for me.
But even, it's just if we get religious, they say the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. The Bible, God, actually every religion says that we are God. God is within us. It's the frequency of being at our highest elevation, mind, body, and spirit. So it is a me thing.
Yeah.
Because when I got my mind, body, and spirit good, that's when I'm able to think in the God consciousness.
Yep.
If I put this being first, but I'm not doing the work with mind, body, or spirit, I can't just pray and not do mind, body, and spirit.
Exactly.
That He's not going to bring nothing. Faith without works is dead. So I think that's a part of where a lot of religious people become victims of, well, He's going to do the work. He says to call upon Him, to have the faith, but you have to do the work, mind, body, and spirit. And that's where we have to show up as, I am God. God is within me. I'm at the highest frequency of God consciousness. And when you're eating right, when you're at the gym, you're good with your relationships, you're serving the world. Every time we're serving the world and we're giving and we're seeing that light turn on in people's eyes that were dark or lost, that feeling is God. that is God coming through me. So my biggest thing is I am God. I am God when I'm in alignment, and I have to be in alignment to serve. I can't just literally lay around all day, eat like shit, have no goals, and literally pray and say, well, God's
Why,
going to
God?
save
Why am I? Yeah.
me. The Bible says faith without works is dead. Like even God's like, get up, you lazy fuck. Like,
Think that's what he says?
yeah, literally. I don't know where it says God doesn't curse, but that's what my head,
Yeah.
that's the voice in my head I have to tell myself to get up because my demons are loud.
Yeah.
The demons are loud in my fucking head.
Oh, yeah.
And I have God. So I already know, like, hey, motherfucker, like, you need to sit the fuck down. Like, come down today, little demon.
The inner dialogue is key.
Yeah.
You gotta have great self-talk with yourself. You know, they say it, average human being has 60,000 thoughts, 48,000 of them are negative. They all fall within your family, your fitness, your finances, and faith. They do. So my goal is just try to get that number as low as I can
For the day,
because that frees up the positive for the positive energy, right?
It really does. And also, too, like in quantum physics, we have the energy chart. So guilt, shame, apathy are 20, 30, 40 level. Like we're going on numbers. And omega, which is God, and it says God consciousness is 1,000. So we, like you said, like we have to show up as God.
Yeah.
You know, people who are like, oh, well, I'm going to live in guilt and shame because, you know, I'm a sinner or I've done this. God doesn't say that.
Yeah.
God's telling you to evolve into your highest. He wants you to be proud of yourself. And that's not going to come by sitting around not doing anything.
Yeah.
He needs you to get into action. He needs you to elevate. He needs you to believe that I can move mountains with faith. And it's all an analogy. Deanne, like you were a former porn star. Deanne, you know, you were an addict. Deanne, you were suicidal. Like, why would anyone take you serious as a motivational speaker? Because I believe I can move mountains. Like, that's all it takes. You need the faith of a mustard seed. And I said so because I said so.
That's right.
That's it. God told me. You have a problem with it? Take it up with God.
Take it up with the big man.
Take it up with God because I'm going to continue putting inspirational, enlightening words out there, like podcasts. Like that's my calling. That's what God gave me. And if anyone has a motherfucking problem with it, you can email God.
I'm sure he's got all the social media platforms out there.
Okay, so tell me how do you get into the Navy? Like, where did this come from? Like, when did you want to do it when you grew up?
No.
Were there, is it like a defining moment? Something was going on?
There was a defining moment. That's a good thing. Number one, I was a fuck up when I was young. Just, you know, father was murdered when I was 11. I was angry, got in a lot of fights. You know, it's funny. I can't remember 3 weeks down, 3 weeks ago. And I can remember being 17 years old, coming in one night. I tell this story a lot. And was drunk or high or God only knows what. And I went in the bathroom and I was washing my face. And I looked up and I do this reflection drill too. When I looked in the mirror, I saw not me, but I saw my father. And my father was a biker, abuser, womanizer. And I was like, if I don't change my ways, I'm going to become him. Not that I love my father. You know, he was abusive to me, but physically, but I loved him. I think he made me, you know, I think the pain is what made me who I am today, sitting in front of you. But right then and there, it was like an epiphany. I was like, I've got to do something with my fucking life. And I went to the detail. I was like, and, you know, I took the ASVAB and, oh my God, you know, you've got to get combined scores. And ASVAB is an aptitude test. Like if you got 3 holes in a boat, which hole are you going to fill up first? I don't know. You fucking fill them. You plug all 3 with 3 fingers if you can. Or if a train's going 90 miles an hour east and one's going 90 miles an hour west, when do they hit? I don't know. I've never been on a train. So I go to the detailer and I say, listen, I want to just get the hell out of here. Saw a pamphlet on being a Navy SEAL. It's like, you don't have the grades. You're too little. And I was like, that's the fuel that I needed.
Yeah.
So I joined the Navy. They got me out of there in 2 weeks. I went to boot camp. Boot camp's just like Forrest Gump. Do whatever you tell me. You know, you cream rises to the top. It does. I rose to the top.
Okay.
And then I checked in at my first duty station, and studied because I had to retake the test a year later. And I excelled in the regular Navy. It was easy. Show up, do your job, keep your shit squared away, and just say yes or yes, sir, or yes, or yes, ma'am. And I took the test again and I missed it by 1 fucking point. Everybody told me to quit. Everybody told me you were worthless. Everybody told me to give up. And I'll never forget his name. His name was Wyan Cock, and I'm going to tell this story because I think this could help people in life. He said, all you have to do is ask. And I said, ask for what? For help. So he signed me up in some courses. And I mean, at the time, I think I had a girlfriend because I was like running 3 miles into work every day, training, because I didn't hold off. I was still training, right? I wasn't going to put anything on hold, but I was doing night courses and doing all this stuff. Long story short, 6 months later comes, I'm standing in front of him again. And this is where it's key. I'll never forget this. I'm standing there and I am shaking like a dog shit in a peach tree, man, because I knew it was do or die. This was it. He goes, how do you think you did? And I was a seaman at the time, seaman care. That was like you're an E3.
Okay.
Pretty much nothing.
Okay.
How do you think you did? I said, I don't know, Wyan. He goes, you passed. And he was looking at something. He didn't look up at me. And I just paused and had this moment of like, I didn't know if I wanted to cry or yell or scream, or like just dry hump him. I was so happy, right? Because he helped me. Yeah. And he goes, do you have any questions? And I went, and this is what he says. And I want everybody to listen to me right here. Because if you take one thing away, it's this. He goes, you're going to ask me what your score was. And I said, yes. He goes, doesn't matter what your score was. It matters what you're going to do with the score that you got. And I thought about that for a second. So, bottom line, probably to this day, he still won't fucking tell me. Oh, but I probably got the...
I was waiting for you to give me a score.
But I got the minimum score.
I'm going to email him.
I think that's what I got.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter if you get 100 or, you're 100 or 70. You're a doctor. But what are you going to do, right? And I mean, I showed up, BUDS, Basic Underwater Demolition, BUDS Class 200, 146 started, 11 original made it. I made it through the first time. 51 graduated.
Wait, slow down. You went fast.
I said that on purpose. So 146 started.
146 people.
Guys. Men.
Okay.
Started.
Are women in there? No?
No.
Okay.
11 original graduated. 11. So of the 146, 11 finished.
What is that? 10%? 5?
Less than 10%.
4%?
Yeah. But
wow.
51 graduated my class, meaning classes before me, if you break your bones and you're a squared away guy, you get rolled into later classes. I was called an iron horse. And I honestly feel that the journey, right? The journey, the pain, all the pain that I went through BUDS, Basic Underwater Demolition, 6 months, it's literally like getting kicked in the balls for 6 months. It is, you're cold, you're wet, you're tired, you're hungry, and it's rough. I mean, savage, much better men than me quit. I don't know, but I always tell everybody there's the need and the want. The people that want it, wanting is not enough. You got to need it. It was a part of my life. And people always ask me, how did you deal with that? What was your secret? There's no secret to putting the fuck out. It's, I future visualize. So I imagined marrying a woman.
Okay, marrying a woman.
Having 2 kids. And then having to tell those kids that my son, did you ever think about being a Navy SEAL, Daddy? I could either tell him the truth that I quit, or I could lie and say, no, never thought of that. And that haunted me. That was bigger than just going, fuck it, let's just do it. And that's how I do everything now. I visualize the word quitter through my face. Now, here's something that I tell all my listeners, and they have a hard time with this. I've never quit anything bad in my life, but I'm the biggest fucking quitter you'll meet. I quit the bad thing. I don't quit things like SEAL training or my marriage or quit on myself, but I quit drinking. I quit the drugs. I quit the self-doubt, the self-sabotage, not knowing my self-worth. So I quit the things that were consuming me. That's what I do. I got up and I did a speech in front of 2,000 lacrosse players and their families. I said, my name's Ray Cash Care, former Navy SEAL. I'm the biggest quitter you ever met. And you could have heard a pin drop. And I said, let me explain what I quit. And so you have to bring it to full circle. So it's okay to be a quitter. Quit the right things.
It's like
You're quitting the right things,
it's like
right?
a double-edged sword.
It's a double-edged sword.
Again,
you quit
another
drinking,
superpower.
and you said, you know what? I'm going to quit being 40 pounds heavier than I need to be.
Yes.
So you're doing it.
I was like, fucking look.
Then you look fantastic. I've told you that.
Thank you. We're snatchies.
You've lost more weight than when I saw you in Miami.
Yeah. Oh no, I have.
I know you have. I'm a man. We notice this shit. You look great. No, I'm not. I don't mean that disrespectful, but it's great.
Yeah. And you know what? And in
Discipline.
Miami, I thought I looked like the shit. But I was like, I recently looked at some photos from there because I was trying to repost some stuff, and I said, "Holy fuck, I was a lot heavier then."
But doesn't it feel good when you can look back and go, wow, I'm better than, because what most people do, they call it the Al Bundy syndrome. They look back and they love who they were. They don't like who they are now.
Oh,
You know that, right? There's
No.
two types of people in the world.
I
right?
think I've heard that before.
So people that live in the past or people that are living
Okay.
for the future. I'm living for the now and the future.
yeah, me too.
Like, was the Navy SEAL the greatest thing you've ever accomplished at the time? But it doesn't compare to my 2 children. Doesn't compare to my wife. Doesn't compare to what I'm doing now, because if we shift gears from Navy SEAL to entrepreneur is scary as fuck compared to being a Navy SEAL. You kick in a door, you know mainly who the bad guys
right,
are.
yeah.
You walk into a room to do a business deal. Let me tell you what, man, backstabbing, talking shit behind your back. You got to talk to me,
right.
right? In war, you know, right?
Who
In
your
war,
enemy
it's
is.
easy. You know who
Yeah.
the enemy is. In life, sometimes you don't, right?
Right.
Some people they put on that sheep, but they're really a fucking wolf under it, and they're out to get you. I tell everybody, they're just waiting. You know, I love the haters. I know I have haters.
Oh no, yeah, I follow that one Instagram page. And I know. Oh, they are? Yeah, I knew it.
Are they talking shit? Oh, and you know why they talk it? Because somewhere, somehow, they tried to do what you or I are doing and didn't make it, or they gave up on themselves, and they want to bring you down in their fucking negativity of quicksand. And you know what?
100%.
Whenever I have a hater, I'm just like, hey, man, you need a hug? The what? Do you need a hug? You want a handshake? Do you need a job?
Yeah, I make that joke sometimes, and I'll be like, "Oh, mommy and daddy didn't hug you. Come here, baby.
Yeah.
You need
You
a
know,
hug. You need
so-
a hug."
Sometimes, this hate that you hear, it's just a cry for help. Like I was running these programs with Bedros Keuilian, 10 to 18,000. I would never pay that. You don't need to pay that much money. This is America, Jack. If you don't want to pay, you don't have to. I don't think you should have to pay for coaching or mentoring. Well, do you like where you are right now? No. Maybe try something different.
Yeah.
You know, now obviously you got to be careful and select with who you pick as a mentor and a coach, and they better be able to produce, right? I tell all my coaches, produce for me or you're going to get reduced. I'll do what you tell me, and I'll do it better than you tell me, but I better see results. Life's about, listen, I want results, baby. I want results. And these haters, I'm not going to sit here and say they're sitting on mom's couch and they're doing all this and doing all that. All I'm saying to the haters is, if it didn't work out for you, try again. That's all I'm saying, right? I mean, I got haters, you never talk to me that way. Well, okay. All right. I'd knock you out. Okay. I've been knocked out before. Okay.
And what?
And what? Or you make a joke with it. It's like,
Yeah.
do you know how much it costs to put gas in between my 2 cars that are 1,800 horsepower? Do you know how much premium gas costs in California? I just make a joke about it,
Hey, and they're probably the people that buy and put like the 87 gas.
87, or,
And they're probably at the gas station being like, the gas prices is ridiculous. Like, bro, if you're complaining over like a 50 cents gas thing, of course you're going to hate on me. Of course, because I am elite. I am premium. I'm high quality. You wouldn't even understand it because you're so low vibrational.
But they've got $1,000 iPhone. They've got thousands of dollars worth of Xbox and games like that. They're probably wearing a pair of Jordans. They probably can't afford the Louis, but no offense. But my point is, people scream and cry of what they don't have. But if they really take a look back, they have more than most. I've been to other countries. People don't have iPhones. I didn't have video games growing up. I couldn't afford them, And here's the deal. What I tell people, like technology, I am not a fan of technology. Like, I know a lot of people make their money, you got the OnlyFans and all this stuff, but I miss the old days. the old days when I jump on my bicycle and drive 14 miles to the McDonald's to get a milkshake, and then drive ride on my bike another 6 miles to go see a girl that I liked. I always find the girl, because think about it. Look at how the pendulum has shifted. When we were kids, you got in trouble for what? Staying out too late.
Too late outside
Now you get in trouble for
playing.
sitting on your ass. Like, right?
The irony. Oh
The irony. Think of it like this. Here we
I
go.
never once thought of
Kids
that.
nowadays.
Yeah.
I know kids that are like 20 years old, they don't have their driver's license. You know why? Because mommy and daddy drive them around, or they can Uber Eats or do whatever they want. Back in the day, get on your bicycle or get your ass a walking. I couldn't wait to get out. There's kids 30 years old. Now listen, if you have a relationship where like you're renting and you have a relationship with your family, great. But these kids that are sitting on their ass doing nothing, living off of mom and dad, I'm going to tell you this right now. There's so much more to life. And it's so rewarding when you do something, and the art of grinding is the passion of it, And I always get this question. I'm going to bring it up. People always ask me on every podcast, what would you tell your 20-year-old self? What would you tell your 18-year-old self? Not a damn thing. I wouldn't tell myself anything.
How about your 5-year-old self?
No.
No.
The unknown, the uncertainty, the anxiousness, the fear, that's part of the journey. I love that shit. I love not knowing. I'm a control freak. Now let me I control what I eat, who I surround myself with, the
Right.
clothes that I wear, the amount of money I'm making right now. But think about it like this. As soon as I get in the car, I can't control what's going to happen. I can't. Someone could hit me. So I try to control as much as I can. But I don't want cheat codes. I always ask people, like, what would you tell your 9? I'd tell myself to invest in this stock or that stock. Or you could have told yourself maybe to just research a little bit more when you were younger and stop being a lazy ass, right? I have no regrets. Like people go, what would you do and go, if you could go back and do it again? Nothing. Because I'm still figuring this shit out, And, I've been broke as a joke before. And I've had money in my pocket. I've got money in my pocket now. I'm still the same person. I just feel better about myself because I like seeing me make an impact. Because, people don't see the backside, the front and backside support like you got over here with Abe, right? They don't see, I call him the Oz, the guy behind the curtain.
Yeah.
They don't see what I'm doing when I'm not on camera. Because social media and these podcasts, I show people what I want them to see, right? But people don't see me doing tire flips for a mile, pushing cars, donating time and money to church. They don't see this stuff. You know why? Because I don't want them to. I want them to go on thinking that I'm just some guy that makes money, that yells at people, and that's it. That's not what I do.
Far from it.
And the people that know me best, the people that go to my courses, understand it, right? People that, because, and I'm going to circle back, they are tired of the rhythm that they're at, and they want to be on a higher frequency. I'm not saying my frequency is the highest.
No, you're high frequency. Anyone high frequency understands you.
They do. But we're
people-
such a minority.
Yeah.
We're such a fucking minority.
Same. It's and that's what we're here. Like that's why we have our social media. That's why you speak. That's why we have podcasts. Is because ultimately we're here to serve.
And-
we're here to share the knowledge, and they could either take it or they could just shove it up their tushy hole.
And we were talking before when you were getting ready about how much money you make doing your other stuff.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about getting a fucking wheel and doing that shit. I'm like, this is because that's entrepreneurial, man. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, I might make $12 a month, but so what? Right? I mean, if I can add,
I'm like $25. DM me yours. No.
I was like, shit, man. I gotta, yeah. I mean,
Take the shoes off.
but you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And you're grinding, and you're doing good with it. So, people are so easy to sit back and judge. My problem with this is, what are you doing to help the solution, right? People are like, men's courses, it's a fraud, it's this. What are you doing? And when I ask people that, you know what I get? Either cursed at or nothing.
Yeah.
But
They're
that's not
doing
an
their
answer.
thing.
That's a comeback, but let's go live. Because I do this all the time too. Let's go live and have a civil conversation. They'll never go live with me.
Of course not. They wouldn't be able to hold the conversation.
Just tell me if you don't like what I'm doing, great. What should I do? They should join the military. Most of these guys that join our courses are already millionaires. They don't need to join the military. 30% of them already joined the military.
Right.
Everybody thinks the military's this brotherhood and this kumbaya. It's not like that. Very select few groups are like that. And all these people that say it either haven't served or they've served with a unit and they did nothing in the military, and they have this false, I guess, vision of what life's like, man. Some people are looking for an outlet, like people go to you, they're looking for an outlet. That's what it's about. It's about producing and providing a service that helps people. And if you're helping people, no matter how you're doing it or how I'm doing it, good on you. Fuck the rest of you that don't like what we're doing, because they're not doing anything. That's the thing.
I recently just posted, I think it was even yesterday morning, about what the trigger is when people like hate us or they're when people are upset. And let's talk about obsession, not even talk about haters. There's going to be haters. I want to talk about the ones who are obsessed with us, like obsessed. What they're obsessed with, there's something we've accomplished in our life. There's some quality about us that they really wished they embodied.
Of course.
So they're mad at themselves for not having either the courage or the authenticity to embody it, be it, or go after it. So now they're mad at the fact that I'm embodying it or you're embodying it. And they never took the chance to get it.
They're mad at you because they're insecure.
Mm-hmm.
They're mad at you because they're insecurities. Shit. I mean, look at me. I'm thinking about opening up a fucking OnlyFans account. I'm going to figure this shit out. I'm going to master it, and I want to compete against you. And I'm going to have to do some crazy shit. But that's that's what entrepreneurs do.
You guys could what's it called?
It's a challenge. But you should welcome that. Like, bring it on. Like when people are like, Ray, I'm going to open up a men's. Great, do it, man. Let me help. How can I help you? There's enough to go around. And I always tell people, I guarantee 99% of these people, if they just would have a civilized conversation, I guarantee we would work it out. You know what I wish a podcast had? A phone. Remember how you used to be able to call in? I wish we'd have some haters and talk.
We actually do have that. You know what? I should do that on my next podcast.
And just hey, listen, it's as simple as this. I can hang up, or you can just have a educated conversation with me.
Let's do that our next,
That's all you got to do.
How would they call in?
We would have the phone line, and they would call, and then we would just plug them in through FaceTime.
Yeah.
We'd have to put the number on the screen.
Yeah, we just have to have we could have like a fake number up for it.
They have things that do that.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, it'd be great. And just because I think more people just need to talk it out. Communication, right, is always the problem. It's always the solution. It's not just leadership, right? Communication. That's where marriages fail. That's where friendships fail. And usually it stems with some sort of money or something, but it's lack of communication because you're using their styles and types, 5 styles and types, and people are not using the right style and type with that person.
Right.
Right?
Okay. Like NLP?
Like assertive, there's assertive, aggressive.
Okay.
There's passive aggressive. There's, manipulative. There's different styles and different types. So you could use verbal, nonverbal, presentation. You can do this. So the key to communicating with someone is knowing what style and type works for them, right? Like case in point, manipulative. Nyla, my daughter, if you eat all your broccoli, Daddy will take you to get ice cream. That'll work for that, right? Assertive. Come on, girl, you can do it. Aggressive, like me. I actually like negativity. I literally talk down on myself. You piece of shit, let's do this. But that works for me. I wouldn't talk to you like that.
Right.
I would not talk to you like that. But I may say, hey, listen, girl, I know you're better than this. Right? I'll probably do assertive and aggressive with you. Listen, don't make me come over there and put my foot in your ass.
See,
right?
that supports me. I do very well with very aggressive coaching versus
Well, fucking Wes, yeah, I hope so.
And
Love
you know
buddy.
what? The first time I ever got sober too, when you get sober, you get a sponsor, and they always say pick someone that has what you want. And I remember going to the meeting, and there was this woman that was there, and she just seemed peaceful and sweet and loving. And mind you, I came from hardcore gang banging, doing crystal meth in the hotel rooms, So I was like, oh, she looks so nice. So I remember being like, you want to be my sponsor? I think I was 3 months in. I was like, walked all over her. Like I didn't do any of the homework. And I was like, this isn't going to work.
Yep.
And I had befriended somebody else and there was a guy there and he was just like hardcore, like just no bullshit. If you missed a day, like that was it. Like you cannot be with him. His
Rhythm
group.
frequency. That's what it's all you're saying.
No, yeah. And I literally was like, I need you. And he was my he was forever my person.
Yep.
And it worked because I'm very the same way. Just give me the point. Tell me what to do. If I'm off, just be like, bitch, get the fuck up, handle it. I'd be like, oh, okay.
Yep.
I'm not a sensitive person like that. Where I'm like, oh, like you hurt my
Most
little
people that are
feelings.
successful are not sensitive. We can't be.
No.
You know, like, I mean, I remember when I first started the whole entrepreneurial world and the Ray Cash Care thing and all that shit. I was reading comments and letting them bother me. And it's funny. Tim Kennedy, good friend of mine, he's one of the most hated guys on the internet. He's like, dude, haters is a good thing. I'm like, and I couldn't wrap my head around it. I'm like, haters is a good thing. He's like, you're making such an impact and a wave that it's creating tension and turmoil in normal people's lives. People like me, we just, hey, great job. But people that are like miserable with their jobs and, you know, and listen, this is what I tell everybody. If you don't look in the mirror, I do a reflection drill. Fuck was that?
That was Willie.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I thought you had a bird. I thought he hit a button. I said something wrong. But
Willie said, I don't like the mirror.
you have a I don't know if I did this other thing. Where's your phone at?
Oh, it's up there.
So what you do is I make people do this. I make them take a picture of themselves.
Okay.
Boom. And I want you to grade yourself on your family, your fitness, your finances, and faith. Family, mother,
10.
right? But I'm just going to.
Oh, I was like, let's go. This
family,
is fun.
right? If you are a girlfriend, a wife, right? And from that,
10.
there you go.
10,
and then
10.
you know, you go from the one side of open to everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Fitness is physical, mental, and emotional. So that's just how you look. Are you mentally and emotionally sound? Finance. Are you creating generational wealth? Faith. Do you believe in yourself? I know you believe in him,
10,
but do you
10,
believe in yourself,
10.
right?
Yeah.
So, and you constantly do this. You don't just do it once and go, I'm all fucking 10s. Because there's going to be days where I guarantee you, D, you're going to be like, fuck, I'm an 8, you know? And you never.
Yesterday I was mentally a fucking 6. I threw
And
my
you're never
phone
allowed to
across
be a
the
7.
room.
7, you're not allowed to be a 7 or a 5. You can't be average and you can't be 7. That's like the go-to. It's like, nope. I'm either a 4 and I just suck, or I'm an 8. I try to give myself solid 8s. 8 or 9s. That's where I give myself. I don't know if I'll ever hit a 10 because I don't know what perfect is.
Right.
That's me. But I constantly evaluate and reevaluate myself. They're called after action reports. And what you should be doing, even with like Abe and people you work with, hey, let's have an after action report. What did I do that's good? A real alpha, male or female, tell me one thing I did good, 2 things I can improve on.
Feedback.
See, a beta will say, tell me one thing I did bad and tell me 12 things I did good. I don't want.
Yeah.
Like-
I already know what I do good.
Yeah,
You're
whenever
right.
I do a speaking
How can
event,
I be better?
whenever I do a speaking event, I always find somebody who's a headliner, and I tell him. And Sean Whalen, I love Sean. He's one of my very good friends. He gets so angry with me. As soon as I get off the stage, I start texting. He goes, "Do not fucking text me and ask me how you did." I've done it with Bedros. I do it with Tim Grover. I've done it with I've done it with Wes. Wes just gives me the middle finger, but I know deep down they like seeing that.
Yeah.
Like Tim Grover. Tim Grover is my mentor. And he told me I'm opening up for him in July at the event we're doing July 19th and 20th. I hope you come, Boise, Idaho.
I'm coming.
He said to me, he goes, Ray, you're fucking insane. And I went, he goes, no, don't I'm talking, I guess that's Mr. Grover is. I'm like, yes, sir. He goes, that's a good thing. He goes, you're me 15 years ago. And I was like, can I speak now? You know, it's like, yeah, he loves it, you know, and he's been mentoring me so much. Like I do a lot of presentations where I have all this stuff in the background and I'm talking and doing all this stuff. He goes, turn that shit off. If you have 2,000 people in a room, you want 4,000 eyes on you. You don't need a presentation. The better you get, the less you need.
Oh, like the big
Yeah, I have all the stuff, you know, the
electrons.
seal stuff blowing up and shit. He goes, they're not focusing on you.
Yeah, the message.
So he's worked with me to the point where I'll just get up there now. And like my favorite talks that I do are like these little TED Talks, 10 minutes. I just did one with Red Suit Riller, 10 minutes.
Choom.
That's it. In and out. I don't need to sit here and tell you as an ABC how awesome I was. I'm like, listen, My name's Ray Cashcare. You know what I did? Yes, let's get to work. That's what it's about, right? Just like with coaching.
Let's create
Like,
change.
biggest advice I can give someone who wants to get in the coaching world is make someone fill out a sheet so you know what their pain points are and what you want to focus on. Because as a coach, your job should be this, to fix them, move them on to someone else. It should not be like a fucking therapist
them.
who knows exactly what the
Yes.
problem is the minute you walk in and they suck you dry for a year. That's what people do. I have coaches that I start with me, and I'll move them on other people.
Yeah.
Now, if I get a piece or something, that's something we talk on the backside.
Right.
But still, there should be a path. Like, you know, I honestly feel that. And I know a lot of coaches that are making big money don't like when I say this, but there is enough coaches out there where, like, you and I could say the same thing to someone, but we're going to say it different. Some things may absorb more with me. Some things may absorb more with you, you know, with your style. So it's something that I definitely, you know, I actually want to start like a coaching bureau, like where it's like, hey, this is a 4-year deal. You're going to work with me for 3 months. You're going to work with Dee for 6 months. You're going to get Wes for a year, you know, and you do things like this so they get everything.
Like everyone's magic.
It's a big package, you know? I mean, you know, it's going to be an expensive fucking package because, listen, time is money.
Yeah.
And you're paying for our 5% zone of genius.
And that also comes from the mindset of your success is coming, or like your breakthrough already at your amazing fucking coaches, because you care about their fucking breakthrough.
Yes.
That's what makes a world leader. There's 100 coaches. There's gonna be 1,000 coaches. But a leader, like a real fucking leader, creates leaders and sends them out.
Yep.
Like, and I've said that before, me as well as a coach, is my when my girls come to me, or you know, the men come to me, I can only take you so far to my highest elevation. There's people way fucking above me. When I get you here, boom, I want you to the next person.
I tell people I'm prepping you for the next level.
Yes.
You're at the level I'm at because I'm prep. You can't go to the next level
I can't
until
take
you
them
have
there.
me.
Correct.
You can't
Yeah.
do that. And leaders do 3 things. They tell, show, and do. That's what a leader does. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you, and then we're going to do it.
Yes.
And then once we do that, I'm going to tell you where you need to go. They're going to show you how to do it, and then you're going to do it. They may come back to you, you know?
Yeah.
You know, you can always do, I even have packages where I have people, hey, you know, check in with me for a 15-minute call. It's going to cost you this. Sometimes I'll even, you know, depending on what it is,
Yeah.
you know, just do it. Yeah. But you can't let people, and as a coach, the one thing that I had to learn, the hardest thing with Wes helped me with is like 15 minutes is 15 minutes. 15 minutes ain't 20 minutes. 30 minutes ain't 35 minutes, because that's what people do. Like, my time is valuable. That was the hardest thing, because I was trying to pour into people. You know, listen, you're getting 15 minutes with me. After that, if you want to reschedule 30, we can do 30. But right now, that's
all I
it.
have allotted
That's
for
all. That's because I'm pouring into you with
Yeah,
that, right?
it
So
is.
I could pour into you more, but I go over what I'm going to talk about. It depends. It depends on the relationship I have. Sometimes, you know, give me your biggest win, give me your biggest struggle. Well, let's talk about that struggle. Let's go right now. Let's figure out how to turn that S into a W, right? A win.
Powerful. Woo! Wow, wow, wow. Okay. What's 3 things that you would like people to take away from today?
Believe in yourself. Number 1, believe in yourself. Number 2, get your asses fit if you're not. And number 3, find a mentor whose frequency and rhythm you want to be on. That's it. That's it. You know? And if it was just one of those, if I had to just pick one of those, it would be believe in yourself. So many people, they go to you because they don't believe in themselves. That's the first thing. Listen, I can't do anything with you until you believe in yourself. I make people do a mantra. Like I always say, I bet on me, I scream it. I make my clients come up with a motto of life.
Okay.
Like my daughter says, I'm a champion, I'm a winner. My wife says, I may not always win, but I'll never lose. Because you only lose if you quit.
Right.
But if you don't have that, right, it's about programming. Coaching is about programming. All I'm doing is programming the conscious and subconscious mind by doing that, right? This 24, what is it? 21 90-day habit lifestyle. Biggest load of
I don't
shit
even know
I've
what
ever
that
heard.
is.
You're not an entrepreneur in 21 days. You're not an entrepreneur in 90 days. It's chipping away every day.
Yeah, always.
So it's sharpening the blades every day. That's how you're going to get better at your craft. Razor sharp.
Perfect. How does someone get a hold of Ray
Perfect.
Cash?
So they would go to raycashcare.com
Okay.
or you can hit me up on Ray Cash Care IG, Ray Cash Care Facebook, just Ray Cash Care on all the social media links. But I will have a OnlyFans coming soon. I'm kidding. I've been inspired.
I love it. Also, down in the caption here on YouTube, we'll also have links to all of his social medias, to his website. Do you have any current projects going on? Anything new that you want to
Yeah, I got a lot of great
let
things
everybody
coming
know?
up. I am going to be doing a new men's course with Pastor Anthony. So we're taking it from a spiritual side. Jacob Lewis, who is the founder and owner of the gym, he's the first one who refused to close down the gyms when COVID hit.
Yes.
And some guy named Chuck the Iceman Liddell, UFC fighter. But we're going to be putting on a 3-day course, which is starting May 30th through June 2nd. And minus that, I'm doing a lot of corporate communication. I'm doing a lot of communications with companies, and I love it. But other than that, anything I do is usually my passion is working with kids. So I love working with kids. I usually try to work with young men just because being married for 20 years, I was told I don't know the first thing about women, but I know what a lot of these young men are going through because I didn't have a father. So we do a lot of courses with that. So it's all about making an impact, right? I want to leave my mark. When I leave here, I want to leave a mark and then just go, wow, that guy was insane.
What a beautiful legacy.
Thank you so much.
I'm so honored to have met you, to have your presence today. And thank you for allowing this video. This YouTube is forever going to be echoing through the web. Remember, again, if you're watching this video, there's no coincidence. Everything is divinely orchestrated in divine timing. If you heard something today that touched your heart, that moved you, share this video, whether it's your mom, your dad, your best friend, your child. If you're looking for a coach, I'm the rebirth coach of all coaches. Anything you need to rebrand, you need to shift out of a disempowering past and authentically show up as your crazy self with a good heart. I'm for you. Pain. We have this amazing pain coach. He will coach you to use that pain and fuel that into your dreams, into your career, to your family, to your health and your fitness. He's available for coaching. If you're a lady and you would like coaching, I'm available. All the info is going to be down in the captions below. Thank you so much for being a part of this. We will see you next week. We love